All right, Shalom, Shalom. Yahweh Bashem Yahushai Brakatham. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Coming back at you once again. It's Brother Yatazadak, Hero of Israel. And as always, I want to get started by giving all honor and glory to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai Bashem Brakakudash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Today we're going to go into Songs of Solomon, chapter 3, going into the Hebrew. So, Lord willing, you're edified, giving all honor and glory to Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, Hebrew Israelites. So let's get right into it, right? So we left off at chapter 2, the rest of chapter 2. Now we're going to go into verse 3, or chapter 3, Salakia. How about Shemel Shah Brakathum to the 144,000 of the nation of Israel, starting with the heads and the great multitude that will be delivered out of America, Babylon the Great. We are the Israelites that the Bible speaks of, consist of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans today, as well as those that look like other nations. Why? Because we have took women, wives of the other nations in times past, so our children have looked like other nations as well, right? But the Lord is dealing with the seed according to the seed of promise, which is through Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, the children of the prophets, right? Law, FEMA camps, World War III, world economic collapse, central bank digital currencies, the RFID chip being the mark of the beast, right? All hell breaking loose. Uh, but anyways, let's get right into it. This is Song of Solomon 3 and 1, which starts off with it says, upon my bed, the header, which is interesting, the bride's troubled dream, right? Because it even says in the book of Psalms, right, that we had awoken as if it was a dream, right? Which this is like a nightmare, right? This is like you watch them horror films, you know, um, and that's how we're going to return to the kingdom, right? And it's gonna all that is gonna seem like right, a thing of the past, right? As if we had woke from a dream, right? Because the Lord is gonna change us, right, into angelic bodies, right? And but anyways, so it says, upon my bed in the night, I saw I saw him on two uh he that loveth, he that is loved of my soul, which is Al Mashakabya Ba Layalath Bakwash Thaya Atha Sha Ahaba Napashia Bakwash Thayawa, and I found him not, right? Which is Wa La'a Mataza'a Thayawa Salakia. So let's look at that word Mashakab, root, or Shakab, means to lie down, to rest, right? So read, and upon my lying down, right? That is talking about Jake, not having his heritage, right? The law, the the knowledge of future prophecy, right? The understanding, the wisdom, right? Song Solomon chapter. This is a Shulamite speaking. This is a representation of Israel, right? Being lost, and then the Spirit coming upon the remnant, which is the elect, to prophesy, right? And seek Yahweh Shemel Shai, B times, right? That means to seek him early. Salakia. Just bear with me 1 second, right? So, Salakia. Verse 2 says, arise now, and we'll go round about upon the city, in the streets. Now that word shak, Salakia Shakwa. Um, the root, I believe, goes to tazak, which means to press together, right? That's the root, right? Because that's what you do when you pass through paved roads, right? First, you gotta dig the dirt, right? Make sure the dirt is level, right? Then you you make the forms for the sidewalk, right? And you and then you pave the roads um, after the tar is laid, right? So it says, and in the broad ways I will seek unto he who loveth my soul. I seeked him and did not find him, right? Because this is like a step by step, right? You Jake being lost, and then Jake inquiring about the former days, which not all are going to seek Yahweh Bashem Shai, right? 2/3 they love this world, right? They love um, the condition that they've been conditioned to love this wicked society, right? To love falsehood, deception. I like it. So it reads Aquaman na'a wa'a sabah ba'ayor bashakim waba rakabath abakwaba abak abakwasha ata shahaba napashia bakwash tayawa wala'a mataza'a tayawa. So it says, Salakia, says, they found me, the keepers, which are the watchmen, round about upon the city, unto he to whom loveth my soul, hast thou seen him, right? Which reads, Mataza'ah, Naya, Hashamarium, Hasababium, Ba'ayar, Atha, Sha'aba, Pashia, Ra'a, Yatham, right? And that's crazy because that's the spirit, because that's actually how I came into the truth, right? Via via the camp uh Watchmen for Israel, right? Literally, they were in the city, you know, before I came before the Lord uh called me. I remember praying and the Lord showed me the truth. I found the camp on YouTube, and literally I went to go see what it was about, you know, even though they have a different doctrine, because eventually the Lord led me to Great Bill Stone, right? Their doctrine is different from what Great Mill Stone teaches, right? But the point is that this is talking about Jake finding the truth and seeking it, right? Like Yahweh Shai said, seek and thou shalt find it. Knock and it shall be opened unto you. Song of Solomon chapter 3 verse 4, which reads, according to a little, it was according to a little, basically it was a little, as in a little time, uh, that I passed from them, even um, I found unto he whom loveth my soul, as in he whom my soul loveth, right? Kabayat, Sha Ibarataya, Maham, Ad, Sha Mataza'a Thaya, Atha, Sha Ahaba, Napashia. So it reads, I took hold of him and did not let him go. That word is rapah, which means to make slack, to make void, right? To let alone, to cease. It's another way to say to leave off, right? Even until I have even till I had brought him to the house of my mother and to the chamber for that conceived me, right? Which is Achaz Tayawa Wala'a uh, A Rap Nawa Ad Sha Habaya Baya'a Dayawa Al Bayath Amya Wa Al Hadar Hartaya. Right? Because essentially you're gonna have um, those that find the truth, right? Go out and teach, right? If the Lord gave you that, gave you that office, right? Because Elder Apostle Tahar, he said himself that not all, right? Not all Jakes, not all you Jakes are men of the Lord, right? That's why it says, um, it was little that I passed from them, right? Because you're gonna you might run into these another camp that's not teaching 100% truth, right? Like IUIC, right? They still teach they still teach that the hell is somewhere underneath the earth, a a a pretend place. When that's not true, hell in the Bible is actually the grave or a hellish condition, right? So they're teaching way doctrines, right? And you're gonna run into other camps that got different understandings, and at the end of the day, right? The spirit is in Great Middle Stone, right? And what is being taught, right? Because you got sellouts in all camps. You got spies. You got right. That's in all camps. Right? You're bound to run into right tears, like the Lord said. Right. So He says, "I held him, and I would not let him go until I brought him to my mother's house, into the chamber of her that conceived me." Right. That's talking about Jake getting the truth and not letting go. Right. Remember, this is a Shulamite speaking. Right. So she's talking about Yahweh Shai, right? Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, the truth, right? Bringing into him into the mother's house, meaning that what? There's a personalized, right? You don't just bring anyone to your mother's house, right? Especially into right, her room, like it says here. Not that that's what it's talking about, right? It's talking about those that receive the truth, right? They didn't let go, right? And you only bring someone to your mother's house when the relationship progresses, right? So that's what it's talking about, right? Song of Solomon 3 and 5 calls you to swear unto you, O daughters of Jerusalem, the rows or upon the hinds of the field, if you stir up and if you awake unto my, my love, even till he pleases, right? Or till he be pleased, right? Until he please, Salakia. Which is Hashabayathaya, Atakam, Banath, Yerushalayim, Ba Tazabaath, Awa, Ba Ayel, Ayalath, Hashada, Aim, Tha Ayarwa, Wa'aim, Tha Arar wa, Atha, Ha, Haba, Ad, Shah, Shah, Tachap, Tachap Taza, Salakia. Right. So I explained with the previous chapter, right? That just means, we're not to try to forward the day of Yahweh Bashim Shai, right? This thing is about patience. This thing is about endurance, right? This thing is about, right? Uh, Knowing that there's a time for everything, right? Salakia, just bear with me 1 second. So the next header is Solomon's wedding day. Verse 6 says, "Who is this that ascendeth up from the wilderness like pillars of smoke, uh, with incense of myrrh and frankincense of all of the powders of the merchant," right? Abak. See, we went over that word previously, right? Small dust powder, right? To be dust, to grapple, to wrestle, right? But the root is in the sense of quack. So that 1 second, bear with me. So it reads, that word is abak, right? And just a moment, I'm just trying to get situated. So it reads, Maya man ha ma dabar ka tayamarath ashan makwatarath mawar wa labana makal apakath. Recall, right? Look at that word recall. Means merchant, but it also means one that goeth about, right? Selling wares, right? So it says recall, to go about for the purposes of traffic. Merchant. That's in the law too, right? Which says do not gossip. That word is recall, meaning to go about, as in spread, right? Word, right? False, right? Or gossip. So as you can see here, the Syriac says recall, Rakala, which means a traitor, right? Late Hebrew slander, which it's not the word for slander. The word for slander is, I believe it's tabaz, slander. Salaki. Salakia. Tabah, right? But anyways, you get the point. So it says, who is this that come out of the wilderness, like pillars of smoke, perfumed with myrrh and frankincense, with all powders of the merchant, right? It's talking about Yahweh Shai, right? No, he wasn't holding containers and essential oils like you see some Jakes. They got the vest and got all the essential oils on there. No, he didn't come out like that, right? It's talking about the chariots, Yahweh Shai, returning in his glory, right? Because that's gonna be a grand thing to see, right? Coming out of the wilderness is America Babylon the Great, right? After the Lord sends them nukes, right? And right, the chip is made mandatory, right? World War III, and the Lord scorches the earth, right? All hell breaking loose, world economic collapse. After the elect get delivered, like Paul the Apostle said, they'll be caught in a blink of an eye by the chariots, which are the so-called modern day. In modern day, they're called UFOs, UAPs, which are the holy angels of the Lord. But that's talking about Yahweh Shai after. That's talking about after the elect get delivered, right? And that's just in general. It's talking about the entrances of the chariots and the exit of the chariots, right? Because also Yahweh Shai was at Mount Sinai, right? With the angels and chariots. You read about that in the book of Deuteronomy, right? So it's not talking about a specific, right? Specifically the deliverance, right? Because this chapter is not based off of that. This is just based off of, right? Like sometimes it describes Yahweh Shai, sometimes it's just talking about how the chariots move, but you can compare that to the deliverance, right? So he's going to come out and the chariots. You're going to see a bunch of chariots. You're going to have the elect. You're going to see the fathership, and you're going to see them head toward Jerusalem. It's going to be a great procession. That's going to be the elect's victory lap, right? After they're changed. But at the same time, the armies are going to follow after, right? But in between that, right? In between the elect getting delivered, changed, and the Lord returning, bringing the elect back to Jerusalem, there's going to be the ceremony, the crowning ceremony, which is going to be in the heavens. Scriptures say that the waters will stand still for 3 hours. right? Right. So it's gonna be right. Might be in a chariot, might be in the vast spaces of in the vast areas of space, right? But there's not gonna be any time. For example, if some of the right, the rest of the remnant, right, that that get crowned, or not crowned, but you know delivered, Isaiah 11:11, right? They're still gonna be in the other parts of the earth, right? The Lord is gonna preserve them somehow. He might even when the ceremony is happening, he will like teleport them there, you know, and they'll see the crowning of the 144,000. Then they'll be brought back down, right? They might just see it in a vision, right? So it says, verse 7 reads, "Behold, his bed is his bed, which is Solomon's, is 60 warriors round about unto it from the warriors of Israel. Which reads Hana, Matathwa, Shah, La Shalama, Shashiam, Gabarium, Sabyab, Laha, Magabaria, Yashar Allah." Verse 8, all of them grasping onto sword, being taught uh, of battle, a man with his sword upon his thigh, from the fear upon the night, right? That's just talking about Solomon and his when he was King Solomon, Yahweh Shai when he was King Solomon, right? How his setup was, right? His security detail, right? When he lived as Solomon, right? So it's not always super deep, you know. So it reads Kalam, Achaziah, Harab, Malamadia, Mahama, Ayash, Rabwa, Al Yarakwa, Mapachad, Balayalath. It says, verse 9, let's look at that word, Strong's H66:8. So it says it probably of Egyptian derivation, palanquin, chariot, a litter, basically like he had like a what do you call them things you put on your porch, like a call it? Not a tent, but like a man, it's not coming to me right now. But it's one of them. One of the things you set up so it doesn't rain, and you know, basically like he had his own little chill spot, right? Um, a gazebo, like a gazebo of sorts. Not a gazebo, but I'm trying to think of something that describes it more specifically. But yeah, let's look at that word litter. Let's look at that word palanquin. It says in India and in the East, a covered litter for one passenger consisting of a large box carried on two horizontal poles by 4 or 6 bearers. A sedan, right? It's that word par, right? It just means fruitful, right? So it you know, looked like he had curtains round about. He had, you know, it was probably one of his chambers. One of Jake calls it, or they call it in the world, they call it like a man cave, right? Cushions everywhere, you know, cushions and a couch, and you got the drapes. They're different colors, right? So it says, made unto him from the king Solomon from the wood, right? So he had a little setup, you know, in his royal palace, right? Probably had like, you know, how they got in the world, they got like a little mini bar set up, everything's carved, everything's detailed. So it reads Aparyan, Aisha Lawa Hamalak, Shalama, Ma Itaziyah, Ha Labanan. There's a fairly getting to the end of it. Uh, so it says, its pillars made of silver, um, with it being spread out of gold, right? Its seat being purple, right? Its mist being ratazap, right? I think that's the word I mentioned in the previous chapter. Yep, paved, to paved with love from the daughters of Jerusalem, right? So Solomon had all these things which were right. They were made either right. They were probably made by his concubines, or they were decked out, or they had concubines had made it, or the right. Or so like it says from the daughters of Jerusalem, right? So he probably received it as a gift or something, you know. However it happened. So it says Ahmad Yawa, Aisha, Kasab, Rapiat Tawa, or so like it, Rapiadathwa, Zahab, Mabrakabwa, Argaman, Takwa, Watazap, Ahaba, Mabanath, Yerashla. So it says, go forth and and see daughters of Zion upon the king Solomon, upon the uh, crown, which this actually means wreath, but it can be used as crown as well. Upon the crown which he crowned unto him, which was crowned unto him by his mother, in the day that was given unto him, and in the day of the rejoicing of his heart, right? Because that's the day he became king, right? His father, King David, right? So it reads, Taza'ayana, Babra'ayana, Banath, Tazayawan, Bamalak, Shalama, Ba'itara, Sha'itara, Lawa, Amwa, Bayawam, uh, or Salakia. This means espouses, Salakia, which is Khatan, marriage. It has it's used in a variety of uses. It used to be mentioned a wife's father, right? Marriage in general, a mother-in-law, Hathanath, right? Father-in-law. So it says gives one daughter in marriage. And that's in law, right? Do not make marriages with the Lord said, don't make marriages with the Canaanites, right? And so on and so forth, right? So it reads, Hatanath wa ba yawam, shamakta labwa. So that's pretty much it. This is Songs of Solomon, chapter 3, going into the Hebrew. Lord willing, you were edified. It's Brother Yatazadak, hero of Israel. And as always, giving all honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Barak Wadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Kwam Yasha'Allah, about the ball. Shalom.